I'll call the meeting to order for Wednesday, July 8th, 2020 at 5:15 p.m. We will rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance here on our end. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, thank you for joining us. Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call? Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Conroy.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry. Here. Mr. McGill.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Rosenblatt. Here. Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
Thank you. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the June 24th, 2020 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. May I have a motion? I have a motion from Chris, a second from Mr. Rick Potiker. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Our meeting format will not be having public comment this afternoon. However, members of the public are welcome to express their concerns or comments by emailing us at legislature@clintoncountygov.com. That's legislature@clintoncountygov.com. We will now go to the committee reports. Each legislative chair chairs one of the 10 standing committees, and I will call the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Perrier.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Building and Ground staff for doing a very good job in assisting with the difficult transition to reopen the Department of Motor Vehicles. The Building and Ground Committee meeting, scheduled for Monday, July 13th at 4:30, has been canceled. End of report.
Thank you. Children and Family Services. Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Chairman. The Children and Family Services Committee met Tuesday, July 7th, and reviewed resolutions number 391 through 394, which are on the agenda. John Redden, the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services, provided updates on food stamps, Medicaid, public assistance, child welfare, daycare, eviction, employment and training, and youth bureau activity. Commissioner Redden continues to evaluate his operations in an effort to reduce the burden on local taxpayers without harming the people who rely on DSS programs. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, August 4th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development and County Operations. Legislator Rosenblatt.
Yes, sir. The Economic Development and County Operations Committee was pulled on Resolution 395. The Director of Planning provided an update on the census count, and he's continuing to work with the Complete Count Committee to increase those numbers. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 14th at 5 p.m. We are waiting to hear back from some of the invitees before we can finalize and confirm that. Member four.
Thank you. Finance. Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee was pulled on Resolution 396. Sales tax numbers continue to decline. The cost is down to $719,801 from 2019 receipts through June. However, due to a strong start to the year, receipts are $447,000 over budget projections. The hope is to mitigate the anticipated shortfall through 2020. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 5th. End of the report.
Thank you. Health. Legislator Waldron. Patty? Again.
Yes.
Okay.
The Health Committee met Tuesday, July 7th, and discussed resolutions 397 through 401. Resolution 399 has been withdrawn. The committee also discussed the financial state of mental health and addiction clinic and anticipated state aid cuts. The next meeting tentatively is scheduled for Tuesday, August 4th at 4:30 p.m. We also have Mr. Canoza here to provide us with an update. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Mark. Hello, everybody. I'll give you a quick numbers update for the day. We have one additional case for the day. We've been seeing a little bit of abnormal, random spike. Basically 6 new cases since the 4th of July. That's over 5 days. Average is a little over 1 case per day. Keep in mind, 2 of those cases were staff workers at the Velas home, senior home at Velas. So, all things considered, yeah, we had a run of good luck with, I think, 9 or 8, 10 days with 0 new cases. That was a little abnormal. This is more than normal. 1 every day. We'll have a few zeros mixed in. Unique. It's important that everybody remembers we're now in phase 4. We've done great. It's also the summer busy time. People are out in close proximity to each other more now than they were 2, 4, 6 months ago. So that pretty much is where we set and know the likelihood of having additional cases is just there. None of our new cases, the 6 new cases, have come from any travel-related operation or anything like that. So we're very happy with that at this time. In other news, Mark's going to talk a little bit about the airport travelers and how that's going to be handled. I can tell you that the school, first and foremost, SUNY Plattsburgh, is working very diligently and received plan approval from the state, the chancellor of SUNY, for their plan for startup in the fall, which is going to look very similar to what they've been doing previously, but smaller class sizes, more remote learning, and a lot more attention to detail when it comes to safety and protection for their students. I've had a lot of good conversations with President Vignetti, really sharp, easy to work with guy. The key that I mentioned to him is that you need to get those expectations. What do you expect of your students? Start hammering them now. Let them know. None of us want them to come back to school. Starting off with big social gathering parties that I remember from way long ago and when I was in college. So that's the first thing I do. We want to give that time, those people coming back up here 2 to 4 weeks anyway. Those are going to be the real sensitive weeks. Clinton Community College just had their plan for reopening in the fall approved, which is much more of the remote learning and less very small class sizes, lab class sizes. So they're moving in a forward direction. Very good, very proactive. K through 12 schools, I'm working with Dr. Davey at least twice weekly. They're preparing all their plans for the fall opening, but of course they're waiting to see what the governor has to say. I believe sometime very soon, August 1st or 7th. Yep. So they kind of stand by on that matter. But the schools are getting ready for everything, and they've been in constant communication with the health department, both the state and our local health department. So other than that, we're still continuing to get a lot of pause complaints. Eric is the central command of the complaints that we receive. Some are very individualistic. One person kind of, talking about another person that is ignoring the social distancing or the masking rules. But some of them are corporate, and where they are corporate businesses, we go to the codes officer and let them handle it. Where it's one person, Lieutenant Leon has been handling the majority of those. In a lot of cases, we've had permitted facilities, people not social distancing at a pool or a beach, that our Environmental Health and Safety Division is handling. So Eric's doing a really good job with that. Even though I'm starting to get these, I'm making sure I'm staying with the chain of command to make sure that Eric gets those pause complaints. That's pretty much the big items that I had. Mike always remembers something. Anything else, Mike?
Just probably finish with the reiterate of Absolutely. Complacency is our enemy because we're so good, and we really are so good. I'm not just saying that to make everybody feel all warm and fuzzy. We are not only the best in the state, but one of the best counties in the United States, the country. We really are that good with all our metrics. And it's the hospital, it's the county, it's the health department, it's our emergency services, medical providers. But let us not forget, please thank our general public, because there are a lot of people who are doing the righteous thing here, and they're keeping socially distanced, they're minimizing gatherings, even though when I drive somewhere, I always get big parties somewhere. What the hell are they doing? You know, come on. You know, but that's the abnormal. That's the negatives you'll see once in a while. But overall, I'm seeing a definite self-discipline by our general public, and that is accepted. And I think pretty much recognized up in the North Country. We are our own persistent, stubborn way up in the North Country, but we're also pretty darn self-disciplined. So we don't want to be complacent. We've got to keep this going into the fall and into the winter months. It's not going to go away. It's just going to be a long marathon that we're going to have to keep plugging away at. So.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So you said the two people that were at Silas,
Yeah.
and the rest were not travel related.
Not travel related.
So where are these folks picking up the virus? Just in the community somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the community right now. It is
Yeah.
in the community.
Yeah.
So I think we both look at each other and say probably to a lesser percentage.
Yeah.
But you can still pick it up and up.
Yeah.
You can pick up the regular flu in the community.
Yeah.
We have tested now over 12,000. 12,000. That's another thing. Thank you. CVTH is doing phenomenal on their own testing. Of course, they had to ramp up their testing. Anybody that comes to that hospital has got to have 72 hours beforehand a test to make sure that they're not COVID positive before they come in for their procedure or surgery. The hospital, they're a little bit behind the eight ball. We're working with them and waiting to come up with a plan that they will be the state-sponsored testing site in Clinton County. The state is going to give them the test kits and the wherewithal. The PPE has already been shipped. The hospital already has the PPE. They got boxes in a hallway waiting to be used as the state testing site. So I'm hoping in the next week, 2 weeks, we'll have that plan ready to go, so that we can only say to our public, come on in here, get a test, okay?
John, are any of the 6 cases in the hospital?
Two were, and they were discharged quite quickly. They weren't in the hospital more than 2 days. So, no ICUs, no vents being used for COVID. I think a vent's being used, but not for COVID. That was my last report yesterday. Okay.
Thank you.
The concern with Violet is that those, I mean, like, is there ongoing testing in that facility? And
Yes.
when will we know if that has spread into the patient population?
The patient population, we should know very soon. Matter of fact, those are our first 2 cases came about on Saturday afternoon, identified as positive. So I must believe that by Monday morning, they were in the tunnel, everything going, get everybody else tested. And we shall see. We shall see.
All right. I'm sorry, sir. Thank you.
Anything else for me?
No, I just wanted to check with my.
Good seeing you all again.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
Okay, next is Human Services, Legislator Conroy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Human Services Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, July 1st was canceled, and the committee was polled on Resolution 402 and 403. The new VA community-based outpatient clinic located on St. Charles Place at North Catherine Street will be opening to patients in early August. The planned opening was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The clinic will be staffed and 2 full-time doctors and 1 part-time provider to provide answers to needs veterans are enrolled. The planned grand opening will most likely occur in early September. As previously shared, every year in July, the Office of the Aging, along with community partners, distribute farmers market coupons to eligible individuals ages 60 and over. The intent of this program is to economically support local farmers and provide low-income older adults with access to local fresh produce. Due to the COVID-19 crisis, the Office for the Aging has modified how they will distribute coupons this year. On Monday, July 13th, Office for the Aging staff, as well as JCEO staff and Senior Council staff, will distribute farmers market coupons at the Senior High Rise building. Distribution points will be set up outside the building with proper safety protocols in place, i.e. masks, hand sanitizer, distancing to keep staff and clients safe. Drive-through distribution sites have been set up at 3 locations, scheduled for 9 a.m. to noon. The 3 scheduled sites are SUNY Plattsburgh Fieldhouse on Tuesday, July 14th, Peru Junior High School bus loop on Wednesday, July 15th, and Northeastern Clinton Middle Senior High School on Friday, July 17th. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 5th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Next is personnel. I will provide that report. The Personnel Committee met Monday, July 6th to discuss resolutions 416 through 425, which have been placed under waiver rule 13.2. The Personnel Committee also reviewed Clinton County, New York State travel advisory quarantine requirements for county employees in accordance with the New York State Executive Order 205, which is on the agenda tonight for approval. And the next Personnel Committee is tentatively scheduled for Monday, August 3rd at 4 p.m. That's the end of my report. Next, we will move to Legislature Hall, Plattsburgh International Airport. Sir.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is rescheduled for June 20th at 4 o'clock in the chambers. So all members of the committee, make sure you put this down on your calendar. June 20th at 4 p.m. in the chambers. Chris Craig, the airport director, also reported that the New York State Department of Health is now requiring passengers to fill out a health certificate, and also New York State will be contacting the airport to pick them up. So they will have a trace on how these people felt when they got on the airplane. If they have any medical problems or anything else, so they'll be able to trace where they are. They're also going to have a questionnaire where they've been and stuff like that. I was at the airport this morning for a meeting. I was a little kind of surprised. We had a few people that got off the airplane from Florida to Plattsburgh, and that I guess that's a concern that these people coming back from Florida, I hope they're doing the right thing and staying home for 14 days or staying wherever they're going for 14 days. Well, we don't get the people up here in the North Texas. Also, we'll be going in, Jackie will be calling for executive session, and I will talk to you later on in the meeting about a lease and a report.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Public Safety Committee met on Monday, July 6th and reviewed resolutions 404, 405, and 406. David Marcoux, the probation director, reported court-ordered pre-sentence investigations are increasing and the workload on probation staff is becoming difficult due to reduced staffing. The Public Defender's Office is back into business as usual. The office is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They are back to full staff in the office and ramping up for local courts reopening. The office took over all daytime arrangements duties as of July 1st. Resolutions 424 and 425 have been added under the waive rule 13.2 for the county coroner. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is presently scheduled for Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Transportation, Legislator McGill.
Yes. The county highway crews are progressing on their paving projects. The North Star Road has been completed. The Hemingford Road will be completed this week. Perry Mills Road and Lakeshore Road to follow. County crews are also continuing to prepare the remaining road projects for paving. This consists replacing culverts and performing shoulder work. Roadside mowing is progressing in the north part of the county. The traffic crew has begun striping roads for local municipalities. Various county roads have also been striped. In regards to public transit, there has been increasing calls regarding the startup date for CCPT, and with lower COVID-19, people are more willing to ride the bus and resume somewhat normal activities. The current proposed opening date is no sooner than August 3rd. This will be discussed at the Transportation Committee meeting on July 13th, Monday, July 13th. End of report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to liaison reports. Board of Health, I'll report on that. The Board of Health continues to work with the Health Department. You heard what John had said tonight. That's a lot of what the Board of Health is doing. And the next Board of Health meeting will be on August 17th at 7 p.m. That will be a combined budget and regular meeting. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Rosenblatt.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll do my two at once.
That's a good idea, sure.
Because of the event that we attended.
Yep.
The Chamber of Commerce and Clinton Community College signed a mutually beneficial agreement with Empire State College.
Yes.
SUNY Empire. Yep, SUNY Empire. In the sense that business members of the chamber can trade in life credits for some type of recognized accredited degree, as well as our partner at Clinton Community College can transition their 2-year nursing students into a 4-year bachelor's of nursing science, which is required within New York State to have accomplished that within 10 years of graduation. So, big partnerships abound for both of our community partners and with New York State. And then Clinton Community College is also looking to extend that partnership with SUNY Plattsburgh to have some type of, agreement between our two universities in town and city. For that, and report.
Okay, thank you very much. Community Service Board, Legislator Conroy.
No report.
Thank you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons. Nothing? Rob?
Muted, Rob. No report.
No report.
Trying.
You can read your list. No report. Okay.
Or doesn't like my
Nothing on
fingertips.
discipline review. Nothing on grievance committee. Inter-county, Legislator Waldron.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we met just about 2 weeks ago, not quite 2 weeks ago. We had Elise Stefanik give us our federal update again this time around. The major topic is still around broadband and cellular, and that is due to the COVID-19. We are finally getting the much needed attention in the rural areas. And the concern is without the cellular, there's a lot of these landline companies that are not going to be repairing old infrastructure, which would leave even parts of this county really helpless with nothing without their landlines if that ever came. It's happening in other counties now. So there has been a big push to get the rural cellular out to the people that need it. And I will be forwarding Mike some resolutions that came from Intercounty as well as Jerry Delaney to see if this body could also pass a resolution pressing for broadband and mostly right now cellular service. Broadband, there's a big push. There are caravans of trucks putting infrastructure in now where I live and all the towns around me. So we're very hopeful, at least in Clinton County, that we're getting the much needed broadband coming our way. So more to be followed next time around. End of report.
Thank you. We'll stay right with you, Patty, for LC and LG Regional Planning Board report.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Soil and Water, Legislator Perrier Timmons.
No report, sir.
Thank you. Workforce Development Board.
No report.
Okay. Staff members have any reports, Ms. Keller?
Simply asking that an executive session be entered into for discussing the lease.
Okay, executive session, Mr. Zerlo?
Yeah, I just want to bring everybody up to speed, obviously, for the news reports surrounding the in-person reopening of Department of Motor Vehicles. The demand on the department in day one was exceedingly high, which is in some respects credit to our citizens who want to do the right thing and get all their vehicles and watercraft registered. That being said, we certainly did not expect the volume that we received, which caused considerable wait time. That lessened on Tuesday, and everybody was very calm. As Chairman Perrier pointed out, the Buildings Business Grounds team did a very good job, as well as the Sheriff's Department who was on site. So there was no incident. So Tuesday was better. Today was even better. The lines were out of the building, but keep in mind that's because everybody was spaced out 6 feet apart. So there was no wait time in and about the park. So we're getting better. In conversations with Motor Vehicle Office this afternoon, we anticipate being back to normal somewhat by a week and a half when we start absorbing all these transactions that were in limbo since mid-March. So they are working very hard. It was not easy, but as I think I mentioned in the newspaper, we tried to do everything by appointment, and that system was overwhelmed as well, and people were getting frustrated. They could not get through to the department and make an appointment, so we did make the executive decision to go to greenlight the operation. So, it was difficult, but we believe we're making we've made great strides. I think the public's understanding with the governor indicating lack of enforcement for certain transactions, registrations and license renewals. We are encouraging people to wait as long as possible so that we can ameliorate any potential long lines. So I just wanted to fill everybody in. The problem should be resolved.
Thank you very much. I've just got a couple of things. One, Bob already covered on the airport, New York State Department of Health. They will be taking that information that Chairman Hall talked about at the airport, and the New York State Department of Health will be entering that into the state database, CompCare. So that information, as Chairman Hall said, would be there for contact tracing. Second, I think you may all know by now, the governor announced today that malls can open on the 10th. If they have the proper filters, that should be our mall. That should not be a problem there. As I understand, they have the MERS, M-E-R-S filter, so
MERV.
MERV?
MERV.
MERV?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, the filters are there, so we anticipate the malls and our mall specifically to open on the 10th.
Chairman, don't you think we should do it in legislative task action? To talk about how we believe that we scared the governor in there?
Yes, Legislator Castine, as you know, proposed a resolution last night to urge the governor to open the malls. I was in favor of that as well, and I think between the two of us, we turned the governor around. So, Calvin, thank you.
I think once he heard that Mike Zerlo was on the job drafting that resolution, he got very worried.
There you go. So we don't need a resolution for tonight. If any of you were expecting that, that's not on the agenda. Secondly, you may notice Walmart, the control room. As you know, I'm a member of the control room for our region, and the control room have been working with New York State on some of the procedures at Walmart in New York State, not just here. And you may notice that and we have dealt New York State on our behalf has dealt with Walmart Corporation and had negotiations talking with them. So you may notice when you go to the Walmart, probably starting tomorrow, that they will now have one entrance in, one entrance out. They will have, I think they're calling them a health ambassador at the door to ensure that social distancing, the wearing of face masks are taken care of. The store management is should be by now well aware of this. I'm sure they are. So when you visit Walmart tomorrow or the next day, I think you'll see a change in their procedures on entry. And unless you have any questions,
I think it's worth noting that although we received some of those complaints,
yes,
with ours, with control the North Country region, they also said that these were happening all over.
Oh, it was all over. It was every
so
county.
You can see a little bit of value in the fact that that type of information is being funneled to a repository that does seem to get a bit of action. So the process works, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow or the next day. Not give them a day or two, but yeah, Friday should be there. Friday should be there. Again, if you don't have any questions for me, we will move on to the resolutions. Okay. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the titles of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Thank you. Resolution 391, authorizing contract with All-Tech Integration, Social Services, Employment and Training.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Currier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 392, authorizing contract with the Joint Council for Economic Opportunity, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second Legislator McGill. Discussion.
Just very briefly, at last night's committee meeting, Commissioner Redden did make a point that there is a chance that more of this money, federal money, gets released, and if so, he may be coming back to committee to increase the per application fee for not only this resolution, but for the following resolution, with the contract with the Clinton County Office for the Agency.
Very good. Roll call.
Mr. Currier? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 393, authorizing contract with Clinton County Office for the Aging, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second Legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Currier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 394, authorizing contract with Plattsburgh Community Housing, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Currier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 395, authorizing contract amendment with the New York State Office of Community Renewal and Housing Trust Fund Corporation, planning.
Motion, Legislator Rosenquist, second Legislator Caston. Discussion.
Just to remind the legislature, this was a result of the decision that you folks made, I believe 2 weeks ago, or a month ago,
A while back.
reprogramming the recent Clinton County First Time Home Buyer Award. We had the option of turning that money in, or a portion of that money into assistance with housing, rental housing. So due to COVID-19, so this resolution is a result of the decision you made to do that.
It goes until 3 of 2022. So are we saying that these specific funds are going to be allocated for rental relief until that time?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that I'll have to check with we'll have to check with Happett or Glenn Cutter. The term of that contract was to spend the original first time home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
That was the term.
Yep.
The reprogram money. I do not know if the rental
assistance lasts only a portion of the original term or the entire term. Okay, and that would be my other question is there some type of cutoff as to when this money can be used, and then after that it goes right back into the original purpose of the program? So I believe that's the case, but I will confirm and let you know. Okay.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Resolution 396, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for various yearly supplies and services. Purchasing Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 397, amending Resolution 336 dated May 27, 2020, titled Authorizing Drinking Water Enhancement Grant Application and Acceptance, Health Department.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 398, amending Resolution 361 dated May 9, 2018, titled Authorizing Creating Healthy Schools and Communities Grant Amendment, Health Department.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 399 has been withdrawn. Resolution 400, authorizing participation agreement with Northwinds Integrated Healthcare, IPA Incorporated, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Conroy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 401, authorizing contract amendment with InSync Healthcare Solutions, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator McGill. Discussion.
Yeah, this came up in committee yesterday, and my question is, would there be an opportunity for us to approach the multiple EMR providers that we have throughout the county and say, these are the 3 places or 4 places we use an EMR, take a look, could you consolidate those systems into one system to save us some cost savings, which would include transitioning a lot of those records into that one system?
It makes sense to ask, we certainly will, but I'm fairly certain the answer is like the nursing home environment is a specialized environment, the mental health is a specialized environment. Maybe the jail could fit in on one of those, but I do know, I don't know if the companies, there is a company umbrella such that you can handle that entire company. Okay. So we can look at it.
I think it's worth having a conversation with folks.
Who would we have, would come and talk to us about that?
What I would do is have the 3 department heads have a discussion and reach out to their company, get that company. We also have to be cognizant of the terms of the contracts.
Yes, of course.
But that's also something we normally run into, especially like when we had a printing contract where these guys expired in 2 years, these expired in 1, and we had to figure out how to either purchase out that agreement or wait till 1 expires and then piggyback on it. They pay the payment on. Right, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 402, authorizing payment of membership dues, Office for the Aged.
Motion legislator Conroy, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 403, authorizing contract with E.T. Harris & Son, Office for the Aged.
Motion legislator Conroy, second legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 404, authorizing contract with George Huddy, District Attorney's Office, Child Advocacy Center.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Resolution 405, authorizing contract with E.T. Harris and Son, Public Defender's Office.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator McGill. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 406, authorizing contract with After Hours Imaging, Sheriff's Department.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Parker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 407, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Families First Coronavirus Response Act Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 408, authorizing the county treasurer to establish and corresponding revenue for various Office for the Aging grants, Office for the Aging.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 409, authorizing the county treasurer to establish revenue for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act Airport Grant, Plattsburgh International.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Hall. Discussion.
This is a good one, and much needed.
Well, that's discussion enough. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 410, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2020 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act various program grants, employment, and training.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 411, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Workforce Investment Act grant, employment, and training.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 412, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant, Health Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 413, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for insurance reimbursement, Sheriff's Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 414, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Shelter Plus Care Program, Social Services.
Motion legislator Timmons. Been a busy guy, Rob. We got a bunch of stuff going on.
He's running the show.
Yeah. Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 415, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Continuum of Care Program Grant Social Services.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
All right. That's it there. I'd like to entertain a motion to waive Rule 13.2. May I have a motion? So,
Motion.
motion by Chris, second by Patty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Waive Rule 13.2.
Resolution 416, approving creation of temporary full-time junior assistant district attorney's office.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 417, approving backfill of permanent full-time senior caseworker, social service.
Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 418, approving backfill of permanent part-time station attendant position, solid waste.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 419, approving creation of temporary part-time senior tax clerk typist position, treasurer's office.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 420, approving reallocation of permanent full-time chief deputy from a management confidential scale grade 9 to grade 11 with backfill, sheriff's department.
I will recuse myself from vote on this resolution. Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 421, approving backfill of permanent full-time deputy lieutenant position, sheriff's department.
I will also recuse myself from this resolution. Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Resolution 422, approving backfill of permanent full-time deputy sergeant position, sheriff's department.
I will also recuse myself from this resolution. Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 423, adopting Clinton County, New York State travel advisory and quarantine requirements, legislature.
Motion legislator Rosenquist, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 424, adopting fee schedule for removal and transportation of decedents under the coroner's care, county coroner, legislature.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator McGill. Discussion.
This came up, I believe it's the same thing that came up maybe like 3 or 4 months back.
This is it.
Yeah, okay.
Solution to the issue subsequent to that original conversation you had. The funeral homes communicated via a letter to the legislature and to the coroner that they if they were going to continue to do this business, they were going to require, I believe, $500 per event plus a loaded mile cost. So this is the solution to that dilemma.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Courier,
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 425, authorizing the county coroner to appoint a deputy county coroner. Legislature.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator McGill.
So,
Discussion.
just very briefly, this legislature had previously authorized a contract with Essex County Coroner Frank Whitelaw to do the safe book of business. Mr. Whitelaw is no longer a coroner in Essex County. Jackie, correct me, but I don't believe it would need to be we would need to appoint a county resident or via some sort of mutual aid agreement with a neighboring county if we were utilizing previously. So.
But wasn't that appointment due to the lack of our current coroner performing their duties? The previous coroner.
Originally, yes.
And that's why we engaged
Originally, we engaged both Mr. Whitelaw and
Champlain or somebody.
gentleman from Franklin County.
Franklin, okay,
They split in the absence of the previous corner. Then we realized that we needed to have somebody in play handle whether it was a vacation or an illness or whatever.
So this is new then? This is not something that
This is the same, it's just a county person. It's still, we will still be contracted with.
So, at the time the contract was entered into with Coroner Whitelaw,
Yeah.
he was a coroner, so
Yes.
he could come in and act as a coroner in Clinton County.
Yes.
He's no longer a coroner, so he can't perform coroner duties. Therefore, the deputy coroner
Yeah.
can perform coroner duties, but a deputy public officer must live in the county or the region in which they're serving. So, this would authorize the coroner to appoint a deputy to be a deputy coroner, but that person must be a Clinton County resident.
The funds associated with this resolution are most likely would have already been paid or would have continued to be paid for Mr. Whitelaw.
I understand. Okay.
And you're not establishing a new position, this is just a contract.
Would we be able to use the deputy coroner to contract out to other counties who are short?
What was it they asked? I mean, it's probably asked.
No, I think that the deputy coroner could do work in a different county, just as Frank Whitelaw was able to do coroner work. The issue is he no longer is a coroner, and so he was a legal public officer in Essex County, and he was therefore able to do work in Clinton County. We just can't appoint an Essex County resident as a public officer of Clinton County.
So we could contract with him.
Yes, we could let our deputy coroner could conceivably go and do work in another county.
No. We can't appoint a coroner from another county, but we can contract with them to do coroner work in Clinton County.
As long as they are a coroner. The change with Mr. Whitelaw was that he is no longer a coroner.
Thank
Any
you.
other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I believe that's the end of the resolutions. Does anyone else have anything further to come before the legislature? I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss sale and lease of real property. Sale and lease of real property. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Hall, I have a second from Mr. McGill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Exit executive session.
So moved.
Motion
I
carried.
just made that, yeah.
Rick Parker. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody's a bit opposed.
Chairman, resolution
Carried.
426, authorizing lease agreement with Stratton Aviation LLC, Plattsburgh International.
Be a motion from Legislator Hall, second from Legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any other things to talk about, folks? All right, I take a motion to adjourn. I have a motion from Legislator Rosenquist, second by Legislator Walter. She beats you, Rob, you gotta pay attention. You know, you gotta have your A game on. I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, all, thank you.
Thank you.
Yard.
Ta-ta.
That's all I say, we're adjourned.
Okay, so